Okay, so this is not a part 2, but it is kind of piggybacking off the last video that I just did. So if you didn't watch that one, you might want to go back and watch that one. But in that last video, well, I was waiting for it to upload and I was still channeling. I was still getting messages, so I shuffled and I pulled some more cards. But they were spirit, they were kind of emphasizing the examples that they gave me, right? So in the last video, the last cycle was being compared to running a race, and this cycle was being compared to painting a picture. Now when I'm channeling, I'm just doing just that, right? But when I got done recording and I was sitting with it, I'm just like, damn, I didn't even think about the difference, the contrast of going from running a race to being a painter, right? When you run in a race, it's all about agility, it's about speed, it's about force, it's about time, it's about competition, right? AKA, this is words that can be used to describe that this last cycle that we're transitioning out of. To go from that to painting, which is what this new cycle has been being compared to, or at least in my last video, that's the examples that they gave me. When you're painting, you have to be intentional. You got to take your time. You have to feel. When artists paint, you know, sometimes it take hours, sometimes it take days, weeks, months, depending on, you know, what it is that they're painting, right? But it's the freedom of having the ability to do that, to not be on a time constraint, to not have to force yourself to push out and exert all of this energy. Being able to, because you know, sometimes they start and then they come back to it, or they stop and then they go to something else and then they come back to it. But it's just the difference of running that race and just going to slowing all the way down. It's just it's crazy, you know. It's crazy. I didn't even really process the examples that they were giving me until after I was done with the video. But anyways, so when I shuffled, I'm like, okay, well, what else is there about these examples, about this message, right? I pulled the Three of Swords and the Magician. Literally, the cards, if I had to pick any card for the saying of turning your pain into power. Turning your pain into power, right? So what they were showing me was, because then the Temperance card came out. Temperance came out, but it came out in reverse. But when I seen the Temperance card, okay, yes, divine timing, right? But they were showing me why, because I was seeing or hearing or feeling the essence of a formula, and I'm like, okay, what is it about this formula? But they were showing me that why things have to happen in divine timing versus our timing. So you see how in this card she has her pentacle, she has her wand, she has her cup, and she has her swords. Her sword. She has all of her tools. If we were going based on our own timing, then we wouldn't have everything we need. We would have, you know, left the race. Okay, like sticking to the same examples, right? You would have had a canvas. You would have had a canvas and no paintbrush, or you would have had paint and no brushes, or brushes but no canvas. You see what I'm saying? Like Friday, you got Kool-Aid but ain't got no sugar. You got sugar but ain't got no Kool-Aid, you know? So that's the whole thing about divine timing, because they know when we have all of the things that we need in order to bring in the manifestation. Like the whole point of the race was to help bring in the things that you had been asking for and have been wanting and trying to manifest. I know in that previous cycle we'd be sitting there like, dang, why haven't my manifestation come in yet? Like, I didn't put forth all this energy, all this effort, and it just seemed like the finish line just keep getting farther and farther away. But that's because you were still needing to collect the tools that you need. But it's the vision of what it is that you were manifesting that kept you going, right? Because what you're manifesting is nothing small. Because her wings to me speak of this manifestation, right? These are huge. Whatever it is you're trying to manifest and have manifested is huge. It's huge for you. So take it however that applies to you, right? But I thought it was interesting how even in this card, she has on this pure white dress, but cloaked in this red type of robe. You see what I'm saying? So that's giving me root chakra energy, but the which can speak to the traumas and the pain and, you know, all of the things that's in your root, in your base, the things that have to be addressed in order for you to move forward. Which brings me to the moon card that came out, because all of the tools that you collected, that's physical, right? But on a mental, emotional, spiritual level, what that race did, or aka that last cycle did, was purge. It purged all of the things from your root chakra, or just, if you're not even into the chakras, it just purged. It purged these shadows or these dark spaces that would have caused you to fumble your new beginning, that would have caused you to sabotage, self-sabotage, walk away, fumble, whatever. That's what the purging process was for. I feel like somewhere along the way, like in that race, you know, exerting all that energy, you may have forgotten what you were doing it for. Because I mean, for me, it was a little bit of both. Like, sometimes I just got so tired. It's like, okay, I just want to get to the end of this race. Like, I'm tired of running. I'm tired. I just want it to be over. You feel me? But not until I got to the end that I realized, like, dang, I forgot I did this for a reason. It's kind of like, okay, say, sticking to those same examples, say that race, you ran that race because there was a $10,000 prize. And with that prize, you could go, because your intention was always to be an artist, right? So now that you done ran this race, you didn't know it was gonna be as hard as it was, but you done ran that race, made it to the end. They signed you this big ass check, and now you can go to the most expensive, you know, art stores and get all of the high quality things that you want to get, right? You ain't even gotta go to Dollar Tree. You can go and get the best of the best. Now take that how it resonates to whatever it is that you're manifesting, but it's the same thing. But essentially, if you hadn't gone through that race, if you hadn't gone through that process, if you hadn't gone through that pain to even be able to transmute it into your power, right? If you hadn't gone through that, if you hadn't finished the race, you would have been incomplete. Your manifestation would have been incomplete, and that's probably why this world card is here. You would have had to start over, or you would have been stuck or stagnant, or it just would have affected you. It would have affected your manifestation. So I guess essentially I would take that as they were highlighting that as a means to explain why divine timing and divine alignment was so important in the role that it played. Because now I have finished this, I have finished this last cycle, right? I have all of the tools that I need. I can slow down, I can appreciate, and now I can know that all of it was not for no reason. And I don't have to worry about going back into a past cycle, making the same mistakes, sabotaging my new beginning. I don't have to have no worries about it, which means that I can just be fully present. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a gift within itself. So be grateful for divine intervention and divine timing and divine alignment, because now you got all the tools you need for your formula. You got everything you need to help usher in and bring in your manifestation, and to keep it and to protect it. So it was all for a reason, and now you're getting ready to see what that reason was, and that's beautiful.